Hello mga ka-IEs! Ayan, so welcome back. Natagalan ulit yung ating episode but we are back and I'm filming this December 20, 2025 out of an inquiry coming from a former student sa isa sa mga training ng Aztec Speech Academy which is particularly Greenbelt, no? So, ang ating episode ngayon ay pinamagatang, wait lang, ba't nawala? Ay pinamagatang eto na nga. Episode number 4, sampling plan analysis using Minitab. So, it's a little bit technical, but I strongly believe na marami ang makikinabang nito, especially for those who are trying to venture or is currently venturing in the quality management, assurance, control, engineering field. Haba, no? Again, but before that, my name is Felix Concepcion Viroya. I am the lead creator here at Pinoy IEs. This is a YouTube channel that is dedicated to creating IE or industrial engineering related content. So, without further ado, punta na tayo dun sa ating topic because I want to keep this at a minimum siguro ay at maximum 30 minutes. No. Okay. So ito yung actual message na nakuha ko from my student. Of course, I will not reveal the student and the company, but ito siya. So, isang hapon, 2 days ago, mga December 18, yan. So, parang sabi niya, meron daw issues, kailangan i-RTV or i-return to vendor yung mga na-deliver na product. Ang tanong niya, paano daw i-analyze sa Minitab and ano daw ang dapat gamitin, nalilito daw siya, thanks. Okay, so ito yung context muna. Ano ba yung tinatawag natin na sampling? Kasi dito papasok yon, no? Sa context ng sampling. And usually, itong issue na to, this issue, is actually under quality. Because there is a suspected batch that a certain set of product has been found to be not complying with the customer requirements. That's why there is a request from the provider or from the provider na ERTV siya. Kumbaga parang yung provider ay nire-require nung customer na mag-i-return sa kanila at kung ano man ang dapat gawin na next. No? Basta parang gustong i-return. So, magfo-fall siya sa tinatawag nating sampling, no? So, ano ba muna yung sampling? Sa context muna ng general context. So, sampling is the practice of inspecting a subset of items from a larger group called a lot, batch, or population to make decisions about the quality of the entire group. So, as we may know, we do sampling because we wanted to have a decision on a certain population, no? Because there are certain limitations and of course constraints when it comes to doing a whole population, entire population na pag-gather ng data. That's why we do the sampling na tinatawag. Okay, so, as I mentioned, bakit ba nag exist ito? Of course, sabi nga natin, 100% inspection is often too expensive, too slow, or sometimes it's destructive. Yung tinatawag natin destructive testing na pag tinest natin yung isang product or item, masisira siya. So, syempre, hindi pwedeng lahat. Ganun yung gagawin mo, right? So, human inspection is not perfect. And then decisions still have to be made on time. So there are several constraints. So sabi nga, sampling is the compromise between speed, cost, and your confidence. Now, quick side-by-side comparison when it comes to the areas of or aspects of cost, speed, risk, human error, and decision bias between sampling and 100% inspection. Okay? So of course there are trade-offs, no? When you talk about cost, mababa lang kay sampling pero mataas kapag pag 100% inspection. Pag sa speed, mabilis yung sampling, mabagal yung 100% inspection. When it comes to risk, sampling would be manage yung risk while sa 100% inspection reduced but not zero, no? Meron pa din. And human error present, yung 100% inspection meron pa rin naman. Decision basis statistical 100% is kumbaga all in, no? Operational kung ano yung pinrocess mo edi yun na, no? So makita nyo, merong pros and cons based on the aspects. So when we talk about yung statistical sampling or yung quality management related sampling, dun minamanage or binabalance yung tinatawag na trade-off. Okay. So again, ito yung concern niya, no? At first, ang sabi ko dito, um, ano ba muna yung guidelines, no? Kasi when you have this kind of issue, of course, as we may know as industrial engineers or practitioners in quality, ang gagawin natin is to go back what is documented. Unfortunately, for this particular case, medyo gray area siya. So, ibig sabihin, hindi malinaw. Okay, so kaya ang gusto kong ipakita is yung side ng tanong niya about the statistical analysis or the sampling plan analysis. So, ito yung mga given, no? Sabi niya, tinatanong kung good decision ba yung ERTV siya. So, dun papasok yung tinatawag nating acceptance sampling and yung tinatawag nating OC curve or yung operating characteristic curve, which is ginagamit natin to justify or justify, rationalize yung isang sampling plan, no? So, in the actual scene, ang meron tayo ay nakakita si customer ng isang set ng product na NG, while per the information na nakuha natin, meron tayong zero na NG. Okay? Na dapat, na yun yung ma-meet, parang zero NG. So, kumbaga sa acceptance number natin, if we go a little bit technical with acceptance sampling, specifically for attribute, ang acceptance number mo is zero. So, meaning i-accept mo lang yung lote kung zero. Okay? So, kung dun pa lang, pag tinignan natin, well, basically, ang decision doon, if it's documented, hindi natin tatanggapin, no? Kung yun yung nakasulat sa ating agreed na policy o yung ating quality management standards na mini-maintain. Pero ito pa yung additional information na nakuha ko. Again, titingnan natin kung magiging applicable ba yung mga technical tools na alam natin sa IE, specifically yung quality control. So sabi, may na-produce na 1,300 sets, 1,300,000 sets. Ang na-ship niya, which is sabi ay suspicious na daw yon kasi nga may nakita ng NG out of doon sa 55,000 na set. Again, the key question is, yung bang isang NG would justify na yung lahat ng nasend na ship na 55,000 out of the 130,000 na produce, kumbaga siguro by batch ginawa yon, is ERTV or i-return to vendor. Now, again, quality management principle, sampling does not prove zero NG in the entire lot. Kasi nga, sampling lang siya. So, it really depends on how well and how curated yung ating ginawang sampling plan. So, of course, if you do sampling, alam naman natin na meron tayong tinatawag ng mga risk specifically associated to what we call the producer risk or the type 1 error and yung consumer risk, yung type 2 error. So, yung producer's risk, isasabihin natin na producer's risk, ibig sabihin, ang case na to ay sinasabi mo na hindi siya okay pero okay naman siya. Okay? So, parang sinasabi mo na NG yan pero ito, good. Good naman. So, nag-over-reject ka. Okay? Pag consumer's risk, nag-under-reject ka. Sabi mo, okay, pero yung totoo, hindi naman. So, sabi mo, good siya, pero NG siya. So, ito yung mga associated na risk doon sa ating sampling na ginagawa. Now, again, balik ulit tayo. Sampling plan, acceptance sampling plan. So, attribute. Bakit attribute? Kasi based doon sa nakuha nating information, siya ay more of yung number ng NG. Hindi good na lote or set. Hindi rin malinaw, hindi rin binigay kung ano yung sample size. So, kasi sa mga sampling plan, nakalagay yun, um, na kailangan nating mag-set ng tinatawag na sample size ng sampling plan. Tapos yung acceptance number, and then ang decision rule, lang alam natin is, okay, accept lang kapag zero yung NG. Ngayon, idadalhin ko naman kayo doon sa magso-software tayo. Ano? So, papakita ko sa inyo sa Minitab kung saan siya dito sa Minitab. So, yung Minitab is a software na ginagamit natin for statistical analysis. Specifically sa area ng sa IE ginagamit 'to 'no, sa process engineering, sa main sa engineering per se, like maintenance, ganyan. So, lahat ng analysis na meron dito sa function na makikita nyo dito yung functions niya, madami, no? For now, let's focus on yung tinatawag nating acceptance sampling. So, dito natin siya pwedeng puntahan sa stat, and then quality tools, tapos punta kayo somewhere dito. So, kung makita nyo may dalawa siya dyan. Bakit? Kasi nga, attribute tsaka variable. So, yung variable, ito yung kapag ang data kinukuha mo is yun nga, measurable. Pag naman siya ay more of categorizable, classifiable, dun tayo sa attribute, like kagaya ng defect tsaka defective. So, when you click this, by default, ganito yung makikita nyo. No? I'm not quite sure if sobrang nakikita nyo, but ayun, medyo pwede nyo i-pause siguro, i-zoom nyo ng konti. Hindi ko na kasi sure kung paano siya i-zoom dito. Pero, ito yung basic niya. So, mag-create tayo ng sampling plan. Tapos, let's assume go, no go, defective siya. Percent defective, yun yung mga default values niya in categories. Ito, inassume ko lang to na yung acceptable quality level ay sobrang baba at 0.001. So, pag kinonvert nyo sa percent, I think 0.01% ba yan? And then, ito naman, 5%. Yan. So, itong mga to is dapat defined siya ng itong acceptable quality level is basically, yan yung minimum na kaya mong um, kumbaga yung level ng quality na ideally gusto mong ma-receive. Yun namang rejectable quality level, yung kumbaga yung mataas, yung sa higher side, hindi na dapat lalampas dito. No? So, pwedeng yung values yan ay magkadikit. So, inassume ko lang na ganyan yung latag niya, no? And then yung producer's risk, which is type 1 error, usually set at 5% naman yan. Yung consumer's risk, yung type 2 error or beta, at 10% yan. Yung lot size, inassume ko na ang lote na gagamitin natin is yung buong lot na sinip na, yung suspected na. So, kapag ganyan, kiklik mo yung okay. So, makikita mo dito yung parameters na binigay mo sa kanya. Tapos, since wala tayong binigay, 'di ba sabi natin kanina doon, nag-assume lang tayo ng 100. Dito makikita mo ano dapat yung number ng samples na i-take mo out of yung ating um sorry, hanap po yung calcu ko. Ng ating yung doon sa incoming doon sa side ng customer para masabi mong justifiable yung ginawang sampling o yung ginawang procedure, ganyan. So, sabi dito, meron kang sample size na 4,605 rather. Tapos sa acceptance mo, dapat pag sampling ka ng 4,605, dapat wala kang makitang any na NG. So, yung 4,605 divided by sa 55,000 is basically times 100. Basically 8% ng total mo na na-receive. So, yun yung ano. Bakit siya nagbabago or ano ang mga dependencies niya? So, ang sample size, generally speaking, ay depende sa kung gaano kalaki ang gusto mong ma-detect na difference from, let's say, from a reference value. If we say, ang difference na gusto mong ma-detect ay, let's say, 1% or 0.1% or 5% defective, magbabago yung sample size. Mas maliit yung gusto mong ma-detect, usually lumalaki yung sample size. Okay, so kung halimbawa acceptable mo na level ng quality ay maliit lang ang sa paliit, palit ng paliit, palaki ng palaki naman ang equivalent na sample size. So ibig sabihin nun, kailangan mas marami kang sample na i-take, i-inspect para mas ma-ensure mo na hindi makalampas yung maliit na level ng quality ng sample. So parang ganun yung pinaka simpleng explanation doon, no? But anyways, so yan, may mga ganyan tayong makikita ng mga chart. So makikita niyo yung percent defective, ano yung probability ng accepting yung lote na yon given yung mga parameters na binigay natin sa kanya, ano yung probability ng rejecting. So kung mapapansin nyo, itong dalawang to ay equal lagi sa 100. At ano yung average outgoing quality mo? Yan. And kasama din yung average total inspection. Yan. So pag tiningnan natin yung chart, yan, ganyan po yung makikita natin. So ito na po yung tinatawag nating operating characteristic curve. Yan. So makikita natin dito, yan. At a certain value ng lot percent defective, ano ang probability ng acceptance? Okay? So, may tinatawag pa tayong type 1 tsaka type 2 OC curve kung saan depende pa yan. Kung whole lot ba yan or parang na pinagbasihan mo ng inspection or a portion of the lot that you receive. So, pwede maging binomial siya or hypergeometric pa yung basis ng distribution. So, yun yung parang technical side nun. But, anyways, so ito yun, makikita nyo dito kung meron kayong specific na probability of acceptance at meron kayong set na lot percent defective, yan. Makikita nyo dito sa curve na yan, yan ay niran using several values. Yan, pag kinilik mo sa loob niyan, yan, oh. Hindi ko sure, again, kung kita nyo, pwede nyo i-pause muna, tapos i-zoom nyo, pero yun, pag ang lot percent defective mo ay 0.00001, ang probability of acceptance mo, syempre, maliit yun, dapat mataas, 0.9999540. So, habang tumataas yung lot percent defective, yung probability of acceptance mo, well, obviously, supposedly, ay bumababa. No? Yan po yung ibig sabihin niyan. So, makakapag-set kayo ngayon ng specific na level kung saan ano lang yung acceptable or ano yung in-expect yung probability of acceptance given yung actual na parameter ng lot percent defective. Same goes for average outgoing quality. So, sinasabi dito na kung yung papasok na lot percent defective ay mababa, of course, yung average outgoing quality level o yung percent defective ay mababa din. So, hindi siya apple to apple. There are points na kung saan pag 0.0025 ang incoming mo, ang average outgoing quality mo ay at a certain point, 0.0025, ayan, makikita nyo. Hindi ko lang kayang i-drag kasi mawawala yung table. So, masasimulate nyo ngayon. Same with yung average total inspection. So, mapansin nyo, kung ang lot percent defective natin na allowable ay 0.00001, ang average total inspection mo ay 4,628. Ngayon, kung mas malaki mas malaki ba? 461, ay hindi pala, mas maliit, no? Yung lot, or mas malaki nga, ang percent defective mo, ang liliit kasi. Pag mas, nawala. Pag mas malaki na ang lot percent defective mo, ayan, mas nagiging malaki din ang requirements ng sample size based dito kasi syempre, gusto mong protektahan yung customer mo. Or kung ikaw yung customer, gusto mong protektahan yung process mo mismo. Okay? So, yun po yung context nitong mga OSI curve na yan. So, ginagamit natin siya kapag mag-determine tayo ng number ng samples na kailangang i-take. Ngayon, let's say, another use case niyan is you want to compare sampling plans. So, kunwari, nakapag-set ka na, ang kaya ko lang is, let's say, 1,000. So sa 1,000, let's say ang acceptance number mo, pwede mong sabihin na pag sa 1,000, pag 0 accept pa ako, pag 1 accept pa ako, parang 2 or less. Ganyan. Pwede mo rin pong i-simulate yan. Now, makikita mo dito ano yung sample size, ano yung acceptance number, ano yung percent defective, probability of accepting, hanggang dun sa average total inspection. So again, depende sa parameter, makikita nyo kung ano yung suggested niya talaga. Kasi sabi mo, nag 1,000 ka lang doon, di ba? Pero sinasabi nun, kung ito ang gusto mong ma-detect, hindi yan magiging enough. Okay? So parang, pag sinabi natin kasi sa applications ng statistics, pag hindi mo na meet yung certain sample size, no, based doon sa specific na change or difference na gusto mong ma-detect, ang ibig sabihin nun, nagkakameron ka ng exposure sa certain risk na yung gagawin mong decision is may error kasi hindi mo na satisfy yung mga requirements. So in the same way that it is applied to our industrial engineering context of quality engineering management control assurance, no? So, yun po ang ibig sabihin. Kaya may mga recommended siyang average total inspection numbers dito. Na gusto natin sana yun yung ma-achieve natin. So, for example, if ito na yung comparison ngayon ng acceptance sampling mo. If you do 1,000, if ang acceptance number mo ay 0, ang average outgoing quality level mo ay ito, at percent defective na 0.1. So, nasa-simulate niya ngayon kung ano yung sample size, ano yung acceptance number, kapag ganito yung sinet mo acceptance number, ano yung possible resulting average outgoing quality level, at ano yung at specific incoming na percentage or percent defective. So, yun po yung kaya niyang i-simulate sa atin. So, ayan, same goes for this. Yan. Pag itatapat niyo lang diyan yung pinaka cursor pag gusto niyo makita yung table of values. So, yun po yun, no? Now, because I wanted to keep it nga under minimum of certain minutes, no? Lipat na tayo dun sa So, pinakita ko na sa inyo kung paano nagwo-work yung acceptance sampling. So, if you have questions, if you want to know more, especially for the practitioners natin, I'm not quite sure kasi sa curriculum ngayon kung ito ay part pa rin ng subject. When I used to teach probably 15 years ago, tinuturo ko to. Yan, and ngayon na-encounter ko ulit siya sa consultant. Um, yun yung mga reference natin. Now, meron siyempre yung mga binanggit ko sa inyo, may mga formula yon. So again, if you want a more technical discussion on that, let me know. So, yung OC curve, sabi nga natin, ginagamit natin siya para ma-simulate yung probability of acceptance given yung sampling plan versus yung true defect rate, no? Na meron doon sa process or from the process. So again, the observed result, ang sabi nga natin, observed NG is 1 based doon sa actual. Ito na yung use case, no? Acceptance criteria natin is dapat hindi siya wala. So, ang result, technically speaking, if that is formalized, lot fails yung sampling. Ngayon, of course, there are risks. Yung risk na yon, mako-quantify natin dun sa OC curve given the probability of acceptance sa pinakita ko kanina at a certain percentage defective, etc. Um, and we can use the confidence interval para malaman natin ano yung maximum na exposure ng ating sampling plan, no? So, ang worst case scenario ay naka-base doon sa ating, so sorry, hindi ko na ito na-update, 55,000 based doon sa upper bound interval natin, which basically gives us the idea na could be this could be as much as the exposure would become, no? But again, probabilistic po siya, so not exact, no? It could only give us some sort of a reference, no? Which is supposedly, kung tama naman yung parameters natin, we're hoping na malapit sa katotohanan, no? Okay. So, balik tayo dun sa tanong niya na RTV is defensible. So, kasi ang tanong niya, paano ginagawa sa Minitab, so pinakita ko sa inyo. At shinare ko din to sa kanya. Pero binigay ko rin sa kanya yung mga kulang at hindi niya binigay na inassume ko lang, no? When RTV is defensible, kung nasa kontrata mo, 0 NG, so dapat may implement yon. Pero, I would say, depende pa rin yon sa severity nung nakitang defect or kasi yung signature, bakit mo nasabing defective siya? Okay? Or non-usable na. Kaya kanina sinabi ko sa inyo, enough ba ang sample size? Kasi kung hindi naman enough ang sample size, baka naman um, kayang pag-usapan based sa contract 0 NG, pero ano yung criticality? So, yung sample size ba na ginamit ay enough, 'di ba? And baka naman siya ay part ng isang failure when it comes doon sa side ni customer. Hindi natin alam. Ang tanong ko din, baka naman sa handling, ganyan-ganyan. So, may mga bagay na pwede tayong erase as a concern. But of course, as provider tayo, tas customer sila, medyo sensitive tayo doon, no? Kaya ang gusto nila is, kasi ang customer ang nag-request na ipakita kung ano ang evidence na pwede ba o advisable ba or hindi advisable yung RTV. Okay. So, alternatives, of course, yung large inspection size, if we can hit that. Minor defect severity, sabi ko nga, effective containment possible na mapapag-agrihan na cost-effective from both the producer and consumer end. So, kung pwedeng isort na lang doon on-site, no? Or i-replace na lang yung certain portion na hindi good, or yun nga, implement kung ano yung documented mo na corrective action or preventive action. So, yun naman, well, usually kung quality yan, hihingan niya ng report, 8D report, or explanation na depende sa documentation na ginagamit nila. Um, so, as I mentioned, rejection is statistically valid under yung operating characteristic curve plan. But yung decision of RTV is it has to be subjected to severity and proportionality. Kaya nga, yun yung mga items sa sinuggest natin. So, for my final thoughts about this, rejection, if we're gonna talk about statistically speaking, na-justify based doon sa nakuha natin, no? Well, given the assumptions na ginamit natin. Kung tama yun, assuming na tama yun. Yung full RTB lang, yung action lang is kailangan syempre, papasukan natin ng practical significance, no? We have to reason out bakit kailangan ba talaga 'to or baka naman may ibang way on how to have a win-win decision. So, yun yung tinatawag nating statistical significance tsaka practical significance po, no? So, sabi ko nga dito, recommended risk-based yung disposition in such a way that mapoprotektahan, of course, not only the customer but also in a way yun nga, as you weigh in yung doon sa kayo as a provider. So, yun lang naman. I wanted just to share this as part of the content that I'm creating here because um, ang dami rin kasing nagtatanong sa akin. Lahat ng mga mag-i-inquire sa akin, mag-aano, I'll try to accommodate but I will not drop the names of the company, etc. And of course, yung mga data, minamask ko siya. Pero gusto ko ipakita paano yung thought process ko kung iko-consult ako about this at kung ano yung magiging take ko dito. So, yun lang. So, maraming salamat for watching this. I don't know if sobrang haba, but thank you. I hope you learned a thing or two about quality related thing, especially acceptance sampling and yung somehow yung counting statistics about it and how do we derive to a consensus, no, or a recommendation moving forward. So if you enjoyed or learned a thing or two from this content, please make sure to follow this channel, Pinoy IEs, and mag-comment na rin kayo kung ano yung take nyo about dito. Ito same rin ba maging decision nyo or may na-miss out ba ako? I'm very open for that, for discussion. And if you have a requested topic, please comment nyo lang din po dito. Maraming salamat and see you sa next episode natin dito sa Pinoy IEs. Bye-bye!